in December of 1961, and we actually got there on December the 24th. And I shared this story on yesterday, and someone asked me if I would share it again. We left Richmond in 1961, and in 1961 there was no interstate between Miami, Florida, and Richmond, Virginia. And so the way that we had to travel, we had to take number 301 truck route. And that was the only way to get from down south in Miami to Richmond, Virginia. Well, back in 1961, we didn't have a lot of the civil rights movement helping us to get from Miami to Richmond. And so as my mom packed up our little car, we came up here in a 1956 green and white Chevy Bel Air. And when we got ready to go, now she had 5 children in the car, so, you know, one of us had to ride up in that air pocket. You get a ticket for that now. You can't let your children ride up in there. But one of my brothers, he got him a pillow and laid up in the window, in the back window. Yeah, you could do that back in those days. We used to sit on the back of trucks and go all up and down there. Yeah, folk be calling Child Protective Services on you now. You can't do stuff like that no more. But she rented that. She rented a U-Haul van. And then we stopped by the Sears and Roebuck store, Carrie Ann. I was just a little thing. And she got one of those silver trash cans. She went to the Piggly Wiggly and she filled it up with canned goods. So she'd have something for us to eat when we got to Richmond, Virginia. Now, we didn't have any family there. But our pastor at church, he called ahead to a pastor that he knew in Richmond. He said, I'm sending a lady and her children to you. 3 little boys, 2 little girls. I'm sending them to Richmond. They want to come there. The mother tells me that God made her the same promise that he made Abraham. Yes, somebody's looking at me like, what is that? Well, if you look in Genesis, God says this to Abraham. He says, Abraham, if you leave where you are and go to a land that I send you, I will bless you and I will make your life a blessing. And Abraham, through you, I will bless nations all over the world. I told somebody on yesterday, I had no idea when I was just a little girl out on my grandma's farm that we would be standing in Sacramento, California, singing to the folks of God over here. That just wasn't even on my radar. We got in the car and started out for Richmond, Virginia. Well, Mama made it to a part of South Carolina. And she got so tired she couldn't drive anymore. And so she said, well, when I find a service station, I'm just going to pull over in the service station and I'll get to rest for a little while. Well, we did find the service station, but lo and behold, there was a sign on it that said whites only. And so when my mom pulled in, I said, Mommy, it say white people got, and she like, you know, okay, I hear you. She said, it'll be all right. And sure enough, as soon as we pulled in and she parked over in the service station lot, the owner of the station came out. Great big old white man, just chewing tobacco, and he said, what y'all want? And she said, please, sir, it's just me and my 5 little kids, and if you just let me get some sleep, I'll be gone. I won't let them get out the car, and we'll be gone in just a little while. I just need to rest. He didn't say a word to us, but he turned around, went back in the service station. Come back out the service station. Great big old shotgun and a chair. And we just knew this was the end of it, that we wasn't going to never get to the promised land. I want you to know that great big old white man chewing tobacco, he sat a chair right down in front of us, in front of the service station. He put that shotgun across his lap, and he just began to rock back and forth. He said, lady, you go head on and get some rest. She said, well, why? He said, no, I'm protecting y'all from anybody else that might. The sheriff came by and he waved the sheriff on. He said, no, they all right. Ain't no problem. He just sat there all night, rocking back and forth in his chair and spitting out tobacco juice and keeping an eye on it. Well, about 4 o'clock in the morning, he come and he knocked on the car window. He he said, lady, look at here. I got some nabs and some sodas here for you and your children. I want you to get out and you take them into that bathroom over there. And I'm still going, that's the white people bath. He said, it's all right, baby. You go to that bathroom over there, wash up and get yourself freshened up and everything. And y'all come on back and I'm going to give you these nabs and crackers. Then he looked at my mama. He said, you got enough gas in that car where you going, girl? And she said, well, I was going to stop along the way and get some more. He said, well, you pull over here to my pump and I'm going to fill up your tank right now for you. And you know, we was watching our pennies because in 1961, we had to watch what we spent. Gas was 17 cents a gallon. And he filled up the tank. And Mama said, do you mind if we have a little family prayer with you? Come over to the car. And with tears streaming down my eyes, with tears streaming down Mama's eyes, she had a little prayer with him and thanked him for everything that he had done. Well, we rolled into Richmond, Virginia that Christmas Eve, and the little house had a big old black potbelly stove in the middle of it. We had to go down in the basement with a shovel and a pail and get some coal, because the coal man, some of y'all looking at me like y'all done had central air and central heat all your life. So I guess this just don't resonate with you. We had to go down in the basement and shovel coal, bring it back up. Mama got some newspaper, balled it up and started the fire. We put the coal in there and she laid all 5 of us down around the big potbelly stove. And we spent our first night, Christmas Eve. We spent it in the new land. Next morning, we woke up. It was Christmas Day. And there wasn't any Christmas tree. We didn't have any bicycles like the kids are riding out here today. We didn't have baby dolls and all that kind of stuff. But Mama went to the closet. She stood all of us right there by the potbelly stove. She said, now y'all wait for me. She went in the closet and went in her suitcase. She had 5 little brown bags with a little red ribbon tied around it. Yeah. We just opened up our little brown bags and stuck our hand in it. There was an apple in there, and there was an orange. Yeah. There was a little candy cane stick in there, and some of that Christmas candy to get lint all on it, you know, and get stuck together, and it's got lint on it, and you suck the lint off and just go ahead on it and eat the candy anyhow. But we were grateful, so grateful for what God had done for us. He had gotten us to the new land just like he promised he would. And so every time we sing this song, it's a song that says everything will be all right when Jesus comes. I just keep remembering, that's what she kept telling us. She just kept, everything will be all right. She was just going by faith. And everything will be all right. And I want you to know that everything, I mean, it's just been amazing that we are just 2 generations removed from living on Mulholland's slave plantation in Douglas, Georgia. Douglas is down there by Waycross and Valdosta. And so we are just 2 generations removed from living on a slave plantation. But God has blessed us. And as I've stood in the Kennedy Center, we've stood at the Library of Congress, just because we have served. Not because we desire to do those things, but just because we have served. Fellas, give me a G, I think. I think I need a G this time. You all right? When Jesus comes, when Jesus comes, oh, when Jesus comes, when my Jesus comes, everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. When Jesus comes, yeah, riding on a cloud, every eye gonna see him, yeah. When my Jesus comes, everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. When Jesus comes, Father, when he comes, I stretch my hand to thee. be alright. Everything will be alright when Jesus comes. Hey, when he comes, when Jesus comes, oh, everything will be alright. When he comes, when Jesus come again, everything will be alright. When he comes, when he comes, I won't cry no more. It'll be alright. When he comes, oh, everything will be alright. No more sickness. Everything will be alright. No more sorrow. Everything will be alright. And no more pain. Everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. Everything is alright. Come on, everything alright. Joy, joy bell ringing. I hear the angels singing. He might come tonight, but it'll be alright. Oh, everything will be alright. Oh, everything will be alright. Everything will be alright when Jesus comes. Yeah.